Hello, it's Steve here in Steve's Longstay Vintage Radio Workshop. Hello again, and this is another thing I got from Goldborn. I got it because it's interesting, not valuable but interesting and a bit rare. It's an E.A.R branded tape recorder. Yeah, E.A.R, E.A.R. They became Elizabethan. This is a very early Elizabethan machine. Not only that, let's take the lid off. Like that, you see. It's an ear that somebody got at as well. There's a mic, by the way. So, I don't know what is wrong here, but something is. And, well, me being me, wanting to entertain everybody in the workshop, I'll start by doing something like plugging it in, because life's too short to look about. I might do later on, but for now, that's not going in there, is it? Oh, okay. Okay, we won't plug it in straight away then. Try it in another socket just in case. Okay, so that one goes into there. It's stick as well, actually. And this one goes into here. You see that? No, it doesn't. Okay, well obviously something isn't right with this plug, so this plug will have to come off. But E.A.R became Elizabethan, and Elizabethan made many tape recorders similar to this. Actually, this is a legal plug as well, so I'm a little bit unhappy, but and it's got a 3 amp fuse in, so whoever's been working on this has obviously had it, obviously tried it, which is of course what I'm going to do, because I like to try things if possible, you know, find out what's going on with them, if anything is, or if nothing is, it's equally possible. Yeah, it's a standard BSRT at TD2 deck. There were actually 4 tape recorder decks bought out by BSR. This was the common one, the TD2. There's the TD10. There's a TD1 which I'd never ever seen, and the TD20, which is one that Fidelity had a while ago. But this is the common one. So now with those off, I shall plug it in and see, switch it on there. Okay, I think the screw's missing from this. Let's have a look in here. Yeah, they're in there. Okay, right. So it's come to him in pieces. Actually, there's a bit of valve case in there. So yeah, and of course that thing. And I think there's another microphone in here actually. Yeah, there is. It's the old E.A.R Classic. These are the work of the door, but we'll come to that. Okay. So let's plug it in and see what happens. Yeah, I know some people might take that as a hint not to, but well, I don't respond to things like that, because quite often, you know, these things won't come into life. I know for a fact that this one probably won't, but we must always try our best with it. So try our best with it is what we will do, because everything has a right to work. Like you know, every animal has a right to live. Every tape recorder, every electronic equipment for this era has a right to live and do what it's supposed to do. Not sure what it is. Actually, today I was on the forums and somebody had a very old Amstrad tape recorder on there. No, Amstrad radio on there. Interesting thing, somebody said it had a EZ35 in. That's rare if it does, because you know because generally speaking, they tended not to be all that common, but you know, you never know. He also said, by the way, that the valves were not the correct ones. Well, in those days, this is a tip from the top for you. If you look at, say, the wartime radio, the British one, not that German one, the British thing, which I worked on one of those in here before. Okay, fair enough. There's another reason here why not falling apart. So I think this probably is going to be something which is going to drop hints at me for one reason or another. So what I'll do, I'll just stop the camera and we'll sort this out off camera. Basically, I'll bear that and shove it back in there. Right, let's try this again, shall we? That goes into there. That works okay. Let's go pull on it. Not as much, but we'll come to that. And that, of course, makes a noise in the speaker. So far, so good. Right, well, in that case, now, when you are testing a tape recorder the first time, one thing you don't do is put one of your best tapes on it, because you don't know what it's going to do with it, basically. It might work, it might not. I noticed that there's an overload switch here that's on, so I don't know why that's on. The light here marked overload that's there's like an LED that's on full time. Don't know what's happening there. One, two, three. 1, 2, 3. Okay, fine. Well, give us some. Let's try the other one. The other one. And see if that gives us anything. One, two. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. Yeah, it does. It does, but not very loud. So we know that the amp on this is doing something. Okay. So, like I said, don't put one of your best tapes on this. Don't do what I'm going to do now and put one of the best tapes on it, because you never know what it's going to do. Yeah, I know. Sometimes you have to be stupid, especially if you're like me, you know, because I don't, you know. Besides, this is a Philips tape, and well, this tape actually is that stereo. Is one from that stereo machine, which I'm waiting for the bits for at the moment. So it's here to hand. So I thought we'll use it for this. So on it goes, and we'll try and do that with it. There we are. Controls what's doing to him, obviously, yeah. And it's doing something, but it appears to be playing on the wrong track, because it does in fact want to play backwards, which it shouldn't really do. It should play forwards, not backwards. So we'll that's rewind, and that's fast forward. So something up with the rewind as well. So let's get into it and we can find out what it is doing and why it's doing it. Also with this machine, by the way, I'll just switch it off again here. All the screws are out, so it's simply a case of lifting the top off like that. Quite handy really, isn't it, that? So that goes out of the way. and let's have a look and find out why it's. A lot of this appears to have been cleaned actually, but not terribly well. So I bet. That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. It probably just wants them taken off and cleaning, but we'll come to that. So why, therefore, is it doing what it's doing? Has it got the wrong head on, for example, which is certainly possible, because this does not seem to be a 4-track machine, but it's got a 4-track head on, which is in itself interesting, to say the least, because this appears to be a 2-track machine, so it doesn't have a 4-track head on. Yeah, okay, fine, fair enough. So it's got the wrong head, possibly. Unless there's a switch somewhere which I haven't found yet. Which I doubt, because I'd have found it. A track switch is normally quite prominent, and this one isn't. So, yeah. Correction to earlier announcement. E.A.R tape recorders are not out of beating. It's in fact a subsidiary of Perdio, which went bang in the 60s. I've looked on Radiomuseum and they don't have it. They don't have it anywhere. So I'm a bit on my own here, but never mind that, because a tape recorder is a tape recorder. It's a tape recorder, like a radio is a radio is a radio. Now, when something like this is not available normally, then what you do is you look at the valves on it and decide from that what it's likely to be. We know it works, sort of, so let's get this thing open and have a little look inside and see what it is, shall we say, because that is important. So let's see what sort of a machine E.A.R made for us here to work on. First of all, it's obviously got a printed circuit board. It's got a valve here, and that's at a guess I would say EZ80, ECC83, and ECL82 or 86. Hopefully an 82, because 86s do tend to have some very funny habits. So that's one thing we need to look at. I have to have a look actually. So take that off like that, and take that off, and get this out of here, and find out what it is, or indeed what it isn't. So yes, that is a full wave rectifier. It's an EZ80. I can see it on it. That's a transformer. That's a smoothing capacitor there, of course, with resistor across it. It's a standard smoothing network. That's a ECC83, which is 2 amp trial stages, of course. Now the ECL82 or 4, depending on which one it is, which I will tell you shortly. It's the next thing we need to find. We find out what it is, and then we find out if it's okay or not. Because I noticed looking at this that it's got some capacitors in of certain brands. You know, these certain brands do tend to give problems. So it's an ECL82. The ECL82. Okay, fine. Well, that's in our favour, because I've got more of those than our ECL86s, because ECL86s are expensive, and you do tend to they do tend to do some interesting things when they don't work. Anyway, but what I don't understand still here is how come I don't understand that. I really don't understand that at all. Because there's no actual track switch yet. That is a 4-track head. That is confusing, that very confusing. So I might have to try and find a 2-track head for that, because that is the wrong head. Right, well, if switch on here like that, and give the unit time to warm up, yeah, there should be DC voltage here. What it's doing? Not. I don't think. There you go, people. That's high. Mind you, I've got a valve out. Okay. That's high as well. Okay. So, yeah. The motor seems to be working okay. Now, the ECL82 on this, by the way, there should be voltages on only 3 pins. Yeah? It's out, of course. So, pin 9. Get on pin 9 is. Two volts, okay, fine, that's pin 9, that's fair, that's okay. This is the setting grid of the child, of the pen code. There's 2, so that should have possibly a bit low, that one should be nothing, okay, well that's interesting. 279 there, okay, fine. So in that case, is that, yeah, that's okay, that's okay, yeah. And that's okay as well. So the other end, of course, is, the other end, of course, which I looked at just now, has the grid one of the triode with the voltage on it, and the grid one of the pencil, which has voltage on it, and neither of them should have. That tells me straight away something which I already guessed. Thank you very much. To tell me something which I've already guessed, which of course those capacitors need to be changed, as a matter of course. Okay, just like in a radio, those capacitors need to be changed as a matter of course. So that's one thing we do. But I still don't understand, and I'm going to go and have a look at it and try and find out why this machine, it appears to have had from new a 2-track erase head and a 4-track playback head. I don't understand that. I really don't understand that. I mean, maybe it's changing the pattern so they put the one in, I don't know, but that looks to me to be original, so I don't know, I really don't know. Interesting one, that, isn't it? Also, I noticed this board actually, that record switch goes there as well, so what I might do here actually is put the replacing capacitors on this side of the board here. Now also, I fail to understand also, hang on, that, yeah, 1, 2, 3, okay, fine, yeah, and those 2, yeah, and that, which goes here, to this switch here. That can't be a track switch, because, well, it could, hang on, I'll move to that, hang on. I'll move to that and see what it does. That's okay. It doesn't do much. Okay. So that one goes to there. To there. Okay, fine. And now goes to there. And that, of course, it's not dead, but there's something there which is about 400 ohms. Click it again. 400 ohms. Weird. Very, very weird. So weird, in fact, I'm going to have a quick look and try and find something else about this machine. There's usually somewhere on the net which would have one of these things. Somewhere. I don't know where. But if there isn't, then I will change that head for a normal 2-track head, and hopefully that and these capacitors and this should work relatively well. And of course the rewind needs to be looked at as well. Basically the deck needs to clean, which is very common with these. Before I go and look at various boots and things, I think the best thing to do is let a dog see a rabbit, don't you? So first thing I'll do is take this off here, like this. That comes off there, I hope. This could be one of the with the most screws it needs, in which case that one comes off. Okay, fine. Okay, the other side too. Basically, I'll get this off to allow me to get it in a bit further. And also, I think, looking at this, it might be possible to lift this board out and work on it from underneath anyway, because it seems to be that comes out. Okay, fine. That comes out like that. Okay, fine. And of course another one here as well. So that too comes out, and this will come out of the way. Properly out of the way, that is. I'm not going to stick it. I'm going to take that off completely. Because this board is going to have to come out and have some caps changed. So it's going to come out and have some caps changed, because I say it is. Right, anyway, so those two out like that, and that out like that. 1, 2, 3 capacitors. Okay, okay. We'll whip those out as well and find something of the right. This, by the way, is a point where I take this board apart and find that the record player switch fault. No, maybe not, maybe not. But you know, in some cases it is by a good idea to take things out one step at a time, for that very, very reason. Because you know, as I found out recently with a certain HMV radio, yeah, I should have followed the instructions and I didn't, and so we say I paid for that. When looking at something like this that looks as though it's difficult to get apart, stop and have a look. If you look at this, all these links wires here all go to that side of the board, yeah, all of them. So if this comes off here like this, yeah, this should come off, and everything should go off that way. That's the theory anyway. So that's what we'll do. So we'll take We'll take that out of there, like that, thank you very much. There it comes. And we'll take this out of here, like this. It seems to be coming loose, you see. And now, of course, all that lift over that now, and no, it won't. It's a pity. Never mind. So, thank you very much. And I'll get that in a second. And we'll take this off here, and it should go that way. Sit over there. So I'll whip that valve out while we're at it. Okay. So that's the plan anyway. Let's see if it works. There we go. So that now comes out like that, and that lot, pull that out. There we go. Right, and the screw underneath. So that should go. Now we should be able to lift that, and it should go like that. Which now gives us a look at this board here and find out what's going on down here, which is, you know, okay, so now this board hasn't been worked on before, so it's all nice and fresh for me to muck up, and we'll change these capacitors out. I got one off actually. These are CCC, but they look very much like Hunt, so probably the same inside. So we'll there you go. So we'll change all those. I'll look at it in a minute and see what it is. And while we're here, I'll also take this off and grease this as well. You know, so with that board out of the way, we get access to a lot of the units in question on this side. So and also that of course goes through there onto that there, the switch for playing records. So it's not that hard to get apart, but sometimes you need to think about how to get things apart before you go in with a screwdriver, which is what I normally don't do, but learning is important. And you know, if you're learning to this, it's do as I say, not as I do in these situations, because I do things which, because I've got one hand, I have to do them this way, but if you've got to, then you don't. Well, I've looked and I've looked and I've looked, but there is nothing anywhere about E.A.R tape recorders, record players, radios, yes, even Paul Stenning's site. There's absolutely nothing. So this particular tape recorder could be quite a rarity. Now, in this situation, first of all, the deck is a BSR deck, was no problem there. But this board here, it's got this machine is 3 valves. EZ80 on the power side, which is standard. ECC83, which is standard, and also an ECL82, which is also standard. Now, these tape recorders like this, many people talk about record players being 1 valve under. In a way, these are 2 valve unders, because the output valve also doubles up as an oscillator on record. So it's and lots of tape recorders do this. So although I've not got a circuit for this machine, what I do in this situation is look very carefully at other circuits and try and work out what it's meant to do and where it's meant to do it. But before we do that, first thing we'll do here is change all these nasty capacitors and 1 or 2 more, and also this here underneath here seems to be a bit in need of attention as well, so that as well. So that's what we're going now. There are lots of these tape recorders who never thought that perhaps the speaker could be disconnected via a plug or leads rather than just soldered on. Like many, this is not one of them, and so the speaker in the cabinet here, which is okay for now. But getting this thing apart again, the 2 screws here and here, yeah, and when them are out, this should hopefully come out and go up like that. Being careful, by the way, not to switch it on like that, obviously. So now I'm just going to change off the bat all these type of capacitors, because most of them are grid capacitors which need to be changed. And of course, also there's a gap which I'm not entirely happy about on the as well. I think it's on the cathode of one stage of the ECL82, so that will be changed as well. So we change these caps and also take it from there. So what we'll do now, I don't know in this case what these capacitors are, so each one's going to come out, be looked at, and the nearest value at modern days are going to go in place. Most of them like I said, are grid caps, so there's no actual reason for them to be exactly right, because they are, as I said before, DC blocks. So this one first, which is 0.01 microfarads. So that one there, 1, 2 more, have to be changed before we go any further with it. So that's what we're going to do now. I also think it might be an idea to take. No, I'll leave that. We can do it this way. Right, all the various capacitors of this type have been changed, and also electricity as well, which wasn't entirely happy with. That's another one I'm going to leave for now, because this now has an awful lot again. So what I mean. If I was to switch on there like that and wait while it comes up, which I can watch the meter. Oh, listen, there it is. Yeah. Now you see there's an awful lot again there now. I know that because I do that. Listen to that now, you see. A lot more gain than there was. Because these capacitors, they affected the gain as well as the grids on the valves, putting them positive. So, you know, that's alright. So now, next thing we have to look at is the deck and making sure that it's clean and okay. And then I'll look at the tape head and why it plays backwards, which it shouldn't do, but it does for reasons which are known only to itself. Now at this stage, this board has been put back fully. The spindle needs to be taken out, cleaned and put back, and the spring put back as well. It's basically take it out, clean all the holes up, and put it back together again. It's a simple job, which I've done plenty of times before. So a loop right down here, you'll see it on a number of these. So I couldn't see the point of putting it on camera again. But now, of course, let's have a look and see what happens with this this board now. So put it in like that, and there we are, making noises. Also it's making noises from as far back as here. So obviously it's making noises. I think if we pull this off like that, take the heads off like that, it does that, bit down a bit, and then of course in there, listen to that. So the buzz test, as it's called, does seem to test that this is working. Whether it works on record, I don't know, but I do know that is okay. So that's something that which you mustn't worry about too much. So what I'll do now, I'll put this back on here properly, turn it over, and see whether it plays backwards or forwards or any which ways. I have got spare heads for it if I need them, but I'm going to try and see if it's just I'm the problem first of all. Unlikely, but you never know. There's something with the heads on this. It seems to be actually a 4-track head on the player erase, which is wrong. So, but if of course if we put the two heads together, then it will of course work. So I might do that, but if not, well, I'll go and get a stereo, a mono 2-track head and put that in and hope for the best. But this tape recorder, which seems to be quite a rare one actually, does seem to be coming up and on fairly well. So at some point we might have a working machine here. Right, well, with these, something else to look out for, and that's sometimes the pressure pads here on it come out from in here. When they do, it won't play. Once you move, because the pressure pad pressing on the head will stop the machine completely. So that pressure pad, it must go through that hole underneath there. It must do, otherwise the thing will stop. Anyway, fast forward. That's rewind, and now play. And I promise you all. And I must admit that sounds forward to me. A faithful heart, a star or two. So what we do with it now is put it together properly. After letting it run for a bit, and hopefully nothing else turns up and proves faulty. Then of course it's a cleaning job, which is always fun. Actually with this, I think that somebody's been and started doing this deck and stop because it started doing funny things. It's not doing them now, so that's concerned. I really don't know. But it seemed okay now. So we'll have a listen off air and we'll see what happens and see what it does and doesn't do for a while. Also, by the way, after I've played with it for a bit, I'll put another tape on and we'll see if it'll erase and record, which it should do. When a unit is run for a while after being put out for cat pasture many years ago, other problems occur. First of all, I noticed that switch it on. The motor's off, by the way, so it won't actually make an awful noise. First of all, we found that the can't come up. It's going to come up. There we are. First thing I found is that the record and play switch here did not do it what it should, because this switch on the board did have a fob, which I've cured. Before it didn't actually switch it over. So I'll have this board out and put it down again, now secure it, and that's working okay. Now the other thing with this actually is that the tone controls, treble and bass, are okay on this, but the volume, as you can hear, isn't. Now there are one or two ways things that can cause this. This isn't the diagram for this radio, but it is serial recorded, but we will do as a test. This is the this is the circuit for the fidelity playtime here. You can hang on, hang on. Pull out so you can see it. Yeah. This is the circuit, the fidelity playtime here. Yeah. Can you see that? Okay. Can you see this bit here? Yes, you can. Okay, fine. Volume control here goes one side to deck, and one side goes up to the anode of the first stage of the ECC83. C5 have changed, by the way, so there will be nothing on here at all. The other side, by the way, comes up to that resistor here, and that capacitor there, up here. This is, by the way, this is a circuit for fidelity playtime, but it's the nearest I've got, basically, so that's I'm going to be working on here. Now, therefore, if we take this valve out, like that, and switch on again, like that, yeah. Again, I'll watch it come. I'll watch it come up just for the thrill of doing so. There you go. That's up now. Now on this volume control down here now, which goes to here and here, there's nothing there, and there's nothing down here either, as you can see there on the meter. I'm going to switch it to 20 volts, and I'll put that up so you can see. There you are. Can you see that okay? Yeah, you can. Okay, fine. So now, of course, into volume control, nothing. Out volume control, nothing. And also down here, there's nothing and there's nothing. Okay. Now that proves, therefore, that the voltage on it comes from the valve, one way or another. Now, in this case, yeah, we know that it won't be coming from the capacitor I've just changed, because that, of course, goes to get this circuit up again with that off. So I don't want to die just yet. If we go back on the circuit here and look here, it goes third capacitor there from the grid, so that capacitor takes all that voltage and goes down here. And again, if it's coming from there, with the Obama circuit, there should be a voltage on here and there's not, so we know it's not coming from there. Yeah, that then goes to deck. Yeah, but in this case it is there, which has gone high in value, which I'm going to change, and it goes up this way to here as well. Now, again, I don't know quite where this comes from apart from this switch here, but again, the capacitor there as well, C6. Now, I don't know quite where this is on here, but I'm going to find out, because I think that capacitor needs to be changed as well, whichever one it is. And just for the point, if I put this valve back in, the right way around, please, gentlemen. There we are, and it goes the right way, and switch on. Yeah, like that. We now find on this control, when the voltage comes up, a voltage, as well as obviously noise from the speakers. So of course, it's there at 74.4, and it's there at 7.48. Yeah. Now, this is going from that capacitor, and it's going to the grid, surprisingly. Okay. And the other one, of course, where the voltage is coming from, goes from here. Yeah. And of course, there's also voltage coming up actually from here at 7.9. And so there's something not quite right here. Now, in this situation, there are various things you could do to sort this out. The first thing I'm going to do it's changed that resistor there, because it's obviously not, if you're back feeding that control, then the question is where's it back feeding it from? What I might do in this situation actually is possibly, first thing we'll do, that goes onto deck like that, this goes back on onto the leaper, and of course that side of it goes to deck, yeah, but this side of it, it doesn't, to that resistor, okay. There's more than one way of dealing with this. First thing I'm going to do is take the resistor and rip it out the circuit, because I think this could be the problem. So first of all, without a circuit, by the way, yes, you are in a lot of cases, you know, on your own, but there's always something you can do. Actually, without a circuit, modification kicks in, and that sometimes comes up with a better way of doing things. But so with that off like that now, you see, yeah. Now, where is this now going? Because that now doesn't go to deck at all. Does not go to deck, as you can hear, as you can see there, or here, as the case may be. So, it is heavily on the volume control. So what I might do here, put it on now, and we'll see what happens when I dig this volume controller out. So again, wait for it to come up, which it has. Two things now, first of all. First of all, the crackle is still on there. It might be something as simple as giving it a spray, but I want to get this sorted out first. And so now, on there, there is still, there's 8 volts, yeah, and on this side of it, there's 9 volts. Okay. It could be this valve, of course. Could well be driven by that, actually. Something is very microphonic, isn't it? So, yeah. Anyway, now, with that off again, because I want to be a little bit safe with you all. Yeah. This comes out of here again, like that. Yeah. This comes out of here like that. And that goes in there like that. And it should be. It does. Okay. Okay, fine. But with that off, it does seem to be not going all the way to 0, which is also likely to be a problem. So I'll put that back in there for now, like that. Yeah. And again, I want to know where this is coming from, this voltage on here. So next thing I'll do is put this straight to deck. When it goes to deck, which I'm going to do in a second, yeah, from that we should be able to see how and why. Okay, because if this goes to deck, then obviously something is wrong somewhere. Okay. Because these two here carry the signal, and this is obviously linked to deck or something like deck. So without a circuit, that voltage is still there. Now that voltage might meant to be there. I'm not 100% sure. It might not. But that resistor goes to here, and here goes to deck. So what I'll do, I'll get my pliers like that, and I can actually link it to deck like that, yeah, and see what it does at that point. So again, when it comes up, I get the pliers, okay, well that's okay. Yeah. Okay, I think we need to have a slightly closer look at this, don't we? So that might not be the right diagram. There is another way of wiring these actually, so it could be the other way of wiring them. I don't know. It's possible. I think the Murphy CL1 did it slightly differently. It is possible that could have into that. Right, so obviously the front end, because of course if it wasn't okay, so it's before the volume control is this. So the question is, what is it? Where is it coming from? Is it coming from? Yeah. So again, I'll have a little knock around and see if any component is particularly causing this. It's not that urgent. I mean, possibly if I was to, you know, oil the control, it might go away, but it's just not right. There's something not quite right here. All the musicians among you will know full well that they do tend to go microphonic, these ECC 83s. So another one was put in, and guess what? The microphonic has now vanished, as we'll see when it warmed up again, just to show you. All the noise, by the way, is my mobile phone. But after it, not microphonic at all. So there you are. So that's that. Now then, with that resistor circuit that goes to deck, yeah. It does appear to operate, but I'm not entirely happy about this this 9 volts. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take out our new, well not new, newish ECC83, Mullard one by the way. I'm told the Chinese ones are quite known for it as well. And so therefore, one side of this capacitor should go to either pin 1 or pin 6. Okay? So if we go to one side of this, like I said, if I put the power back on now, like that, yeah, one side of that capacitor should have a high voltage on it, and that side should go to pin 6 or pin 1 down here. It's that side, so that side therefore, which is there, that side, okay, should go to the pin 1 or pin 6 down here. There you are, that's pin 1. And I'll check that with the power off, yeah. So that should go to pin, do a pin on here. I'll check it on, come out of there. I'll check that on the dial check. It doesn't seem to be. Oh dear, right, okay. Oh dear, fair enough. Let's see what. See, I'm going off the fidelity playtime circuit here, but there should be a voltage somewhere in here, which there doesn't appear to be. Hang on, 0.278 there, okay. Okay there, okay. Oh, there is okay, no. Go back down a bit. Because that one side of this should go to a pin down here. Which it isn't doing. I think I would think it should, but it's not doing. So yeah, okay. Let's try there. It's the output to the volume control, which should not have anything on it at all. If it does, then I will be a very unhappy bunny, because nothing anywhere on here, is there? Okay. On the grid of it, by the way, it goes to pin 2. So again here, the grid must go to either pin 11 point, okay, 0.16, 20. This is why differently it must be. In that case, it's possible that voltage could be right. It could be chasing my tail here, which we all do, and so it's nothing to be upset about, because we all do it. So what I'll do, I'll change that high resistor, and we'll see what it's like then. Maybe that voltage is right. I don't know, but I'll check. I'll also look briefly at the other ways of doing it, because it could be wired slightly differently. I don't know how, but it could be. Right, well, here's a circuit again of the fidelity that I'm using here as a template, if you will. That is basically the arrangement that's used in this unit here, the ECC83. Now, the volume control is in the middle, as in many of these tape recorders. So there you go. That's how 99.9 demonstrated them how it will work and how therefore this one's going to work. So yeah, anyway, so anyway, that's wind control, which is here on the circuit. So that's a bit out of the way like that. You see, we have here the meter, and this is switch from the unit like so, like that. It should come up slowly but surely, as always, like that. And it makes an awful racket from that. It's amazing, isn't it? Now, away from over there, just put that like that, you see, and that back in there now. It takes it down to nothing, as you can see there. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it operate like that. Put this back on here so that it'll be turned over, and try it again with the tape. And if that's okay, well, I'm going to leave it at that as far as the playback is concerned. As far as recording is concerned, it should work. There's no reason at all why it shouldn't work, because that valve is looking okay, that's okay, that's all I can tell. And so there's not a lot else happening to this body. So we're going to put this one into circuit in such a way as to make it secure. And then of course I'll put this over the top here, this lot here, over the top here, and then we'll try it. So that's the next thing that we're going to do. So that will go onto that and solder onto there, and we should then have a reasonable way of getting it where the set works or not. Again, yeah, this has to be a through as well, which is doing it lot like that. I'm going to put some self-tappers in, like I said earlier, but on we go with this, and it's nearly there actually. Nearly there. Then I've got the cabinet to do. Without that resistor in place, actually, and without the with the earth in the right place, we still have the birds are singing. We'll play it back, as you can hear there. So that's more or less okay. So now we've got to look at. Again, I'll let it run for a bit, and then of course we'll look at the record side of it, which should be alright, because I don't think there's anything else. These are in nearly right. It rocked a bit, but in its cabinet it shouldn't do. So now I've got to also put this back on here. But at the moment it seems to be... Your love was real, near you I long to be. The birds are singing, it's a song. Seems to be more or less okay on playback, but record is another matter again. So I'm not going to risk recording on this tape. So get into a tape and we'll try some recording and see what that's like. I have actually managed to record sort of on this. Difficult with two levers in one hand, but I've managed it. I'm not doing it on camera because I swear a lot. But now, if it with the mic and the radio socket, 1 2 3 4 5, 1 2 3 4 5, 5 4 3 2 1. The switch it to record that way. 1 2 3 4 5, 5 4 3 2 1. Okay, so we know this mic is okay. The other one that came with it, by the way, isn't. It's the crystal seems to have gone in it, which is something which happens often on these. But strangely, actually, it is the original E.A.R microphone, so I'll look for a crystal for that. but its erase is okay. Its erase is fine, but it didn't actually particularly want to record. It recorded, but it didn't. It sounded to me very much as though the the the, the, the bias erase, the erasing's fine, but the bias side of it isn't getting to this head here, the record playhead. Now, whether that is a problem with the unit or whether that is because of the mod I've done, I really don't know. I really don't know. So it's time now to first thing I'll do is try another microphone just from the safe side here, and then from there I will get the scope probably and have a look around and try and find out what is going on with it. Something is that's obvious, but what? Well, I don't know. When you're fault finding any unit at all, even if you've got a circuit diagram, you have a basic idea of how the unit works. And tape recorder is quite simple. Playback, head, amplifier, speaker, play. Dead simple. Yeah. And of course, if I switch this one into playback now, it will do that. Record, however, is more difficult because the tape doesn't take the sound properly unless it has a bias attached to it, an AC bias attached to it. So it's like this basically. Microphone, amplifier, and also the oscillator circuit here. Two joined together to the erase head. So it's basically not amplitude modulated, just the two together. So basically it's a signal about 50 kilohertz going up and down with the audio. Okay, and that also does the eraser. So that is a bias and erase oscillator. Yeah, the bias for the tape and erase as well. Okay. Now then, with these tape recorders of this kind, instead of spinning it round like that, isn't it clever? This case is an E.A.R, but it's an ECC in this, and an ECL82. The oscillator circuit is turned around into the oscillators. The output stage is turned around into an oscillator on record. Okay, so this state here goes, and on record it does something else. It changes to 50 hertz or so oscillator, which you can pick up on a radio, and sometimes you can pick up a harmonic around about 200 kilohertz, which is quite handy. And some users might use a tape recorder that manuals actually recognise that the tape. But anyway, so here you see on playback, straight through, speaker, no problem. On record, yeah, doesn't go through speaker, it goes to the erase head, and of course for the oscillator like that, and also goes onto the record playhead as well as bias. So that's basically how it works. Okay. Now with this circuit, we know that the amplifier stages are all okay because it plays. Yeah. So that's in our favour. Also, we know, because I did manage to record, I found that it's actually erased tape, but the my voice on sounding, well, unbiased, quite frankly, you know. So therefore, the problem with this is likely to be the bias on not reaching on this head of record playhead. That could be for a number of reasons. It could be that that mod I've done for playback doesn't really suit it. It's possible. Unlikely, but possible. I could put that back and see if it puts the problem right. Or it could be the switch, it could be anything, but we know, again, we know that all the audio stages on this are okay, and we know that because it erased the tape, we know that the oscillator stage is okay as well. So basically we've got a few problems here which we need to address. First of all, playback again, like that, when it comes up, if it comes up. So playback's okay, as you can hear from that. So if and therefore we turn that off a second, like that. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to first of all take the tape off, and I'm going to get the scope and have a quick look at the back of the eraser of the unit for it to record. Okay, so that goes onto there. Which one is that goes onto there like that. Thank you very much. So that goes onto there like that. This goes onto here like that again. Thank you very much. Switch on again. And I can't see it on the scope here, but the erase signal is on the erase head. I can see it actually. Let me see if I can make it so that you can. Hang on. We should be able now to see that it is there. There's plenty of it. Okay. Now go onto the other head here. And it's there as well. So we know from that the oscillator stage is working fine. Yeah? So that's okay, that's sorted. Now then, if let's just switch this thing to record, it would erase the tape, but my voice would sound pretty bad. Now there could be a number of reasons for this. First thing I'm going to do is get another microphone, just to be sure that isn't causing the problem. Always check the simple things first every time with things like that, because you never know what it could be. Well, what I've done here is I've got the signal generator out, and it's going quite well actually for a signal generator of its age. And first of all, going through the scope like that, it comes up and shows what it's doing, which is of course generating an audio signal. So what I'll do now, again, I'll turn that around so you can see. Hang on. So the signal going into it is nice and clean, as you'll see if I just put this back under there like that. That's signal going in, it's clean. Okay, so that is now going to go into the tape recorder on the mic socket, and from that I then switch the thing to record and find out where it comes out. If it comes out anyway, it should do, but we'll find out. But it's there, it's clean, it's working. So we'll do that first of all. So I'll check and make sure that is in fact going on to there, okay? Which it isn't, because the plug's a bit knackered. So give me a second. I shall put this plug right, and then of course we'll see what it does. Right, now at this stage, the erase head, that's the bias, okay? Clear as day, as it were. And also the signal is also on the record playhead, of course, here. Like that. So again, there you go. Now, that's the bias. Now, if we put the other signal on as well, like that, bring it up. As well as we can. It's there, okay. Bring that up, and we can't see it on here, but it appears to be there because the trace is different. So both are on there. So therefore, take that back down like that. Okay, and up to the top like that. The two are, it might not see on screen, but the two are different. I'll try and speed up a bit actually, just so we can tell. Try something like that. Yeah, again, there's two types there, so yeah. And the other way is for there you are again. So you know, therefore the signal is getting through. So now again I'll look around it and I'll try and find a suitable microphone to check this with properly, because I'm not convinced about that. It looks alright that, but I'm not convinced about it because, well, I'm not. And if you're not convinced about something, there is nothing at all wrong with checking and checking again. Nothing at all. See, there it is now without the audio in, just the signal, so it is getting through. So I will now go and get a microphone from somewhere and we'll try it that way. Well, this microphone here, going halfway down like that, it works extremely well. But on the tape, it's there, but it's very, very, very faint. So there's something else happening with this electronically. So again, tape comes off like that, and we have to look under the machine again to find out exactly why that is not working. Now what I might do here is use the scope, because the scope can usually tell us where this system is not working. You see, with these tapes, like I said, this isn't the circuit, but this is the nearest I've got. I wonder, I cannot wonder if that little modification I did is causing this. So bunch bolt onto the breech, dear friends. Well, this machine gets me more fun with every single fault. I have to take this board out completely again to put that mod right, and hopefully that may even make it feel like working again. The thing is with this is that there was no audio, very little audio coming out of the ECC83. I put a new one in, so you know. Now we know that that amp's okay because it works okay and records. So it's one of those faults, you know. It will either be probably the record play switch, or possibly the fact that that resistor holds the audio at a suitable level for the valve. So perhaps the toxicity at that valve is biased off. That's what I'm thinking anyway. But with this, unfortunately, every time you take it apart to working, you've got to put it back together again before you can test it. So it's one of those sort of jobs. So this is going to take me a while to do. As for the problem of the crackle and volume control, I think that's the volume control itself, but I'm not that happy with that, although if I have to, I will leave it, because sometimes discretion is the better part of valor. I think this might possibly be such a unit, you know. I'm going off the fidelity circuit because it's the nearest I've got, and it's here. So I'm going off that. But obviously that isn't the correct one for this. So I'll put the board back in, put this back over, and again we'll see if it plays and then record in the same sort of a way. If it doesn't, then interesting, because it's round here somewhere, and where it is, I really don't know. With a circuit, the only so far you can go without a circuit. Hopefully, I will do it without the circuit, but if I can't do it without the circuit, well, where we going to get one from, you know. Right, now I've got the thing up again, and I've put the tape recorder tape on from the. That's the phone, by the way. It does that. The reason only to itself. This tape is one from that German machine I had a while ago, and it's full of that sort of music. That's the run control, okay, so we know that playback is something about. You know, something approaching right. So now we'll put the tape on for record testing and see what it does. The biasing problem was dead on, because now on record it sounds. I did this off camera, by the way, because it's very hard to do it with that and that at the same time. So.
Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
There you are. The only trouble is actually with the E.A.R not working now, and I'm a bit concerned because the signal is reaching the heads. I can see that on the scope, like before. It's there, and it does what it's supposed to. So if I put on that like that, you see, and switch it there the signal to the head, it's fine. And of course, now both signals are reaching the record playback head on record. That works too. So the bias is reaching both heads, which is correct. Yeah. So therefore, if we look at the circuit again, we get the meter and we put one into deck like that and switch on. Now, one end of the E.A.R head does go to deck. And the other end, again there, that's one end, that's the other end. And they both read 0. They both read 0. Going to the 200 ohm range, 0.07 and 0.01 and 0.07. No, 0.0. So again, the top one is just too poor. So what I'm going to do now is that I'm wondering actually if that E.A.R head is short circuit, because if it is, it will pull the bias down, but maybe not get rid of it completely, and also it won't erase properly, which is what happened in here. So with that in mind, yeah, first thing I'm going to do, as always, is give these heads another bloody good clean, just to be on the safe side, and then from there I shall then look again at the heads and see what's going on. Of course, another problem, of course, might be that the head is worn out, in which case I've got another one in the shed, so I'll get that and put it on. But as it stands, the record playhead is okay. We've heard it's working, but the erase head doesn't seem to be. And I've tried again the switch generator trick. That doesn't remove the signal from the head, so it's not that. The signal is at the bias in the erase signal was at the erase head. So also it's on the playback head as well. Otherwise, I wouldn't sound as clear as I did. So this head has got something wrong with it. Again, what it is, I don't know at this stage, but we are going to find out. So put that on there like that, put that on there, and clean that head as thoroughly as possible. Yeah. There's nothing coming off it, nothing at all coming off either one because I've done them before. But sometimes, if a bit is stuck in between, because the headlamps have gone, then that can cause a problem. So with that like that now, yeah. If I now put the thing back on again, just to make sure, I'll put that on there. That's on there, and it's still there. Okay, so the bias signal, erase signal is still there. There's no problem there. Therefore, the next thing to do is try and erase again. And if it erases, brilliant. If it doesn't, I think it's that head. I think it's that head. Which means, therefore, that in the daylight tomorrow, when the vampires enter in, look at me as it were, then I will go to the shed and get another tape head and put it on this machine. Now, unlike record and play heads, erase heads, you can do a lot more with them in that respect. So it's worth trying ahead of a different machine sometime if this problem arises. I have a Brazil machine in the shed with a fidelity tape head in it. It works very well actually, so rather proves a point, because Bernal heads are expensive, very expensive. So if I now do that, I'll knock it off while I do this and put this in there like that. And there we are. Like you see, now we can try. We can try the record again. One, two, three, four, five, 4, 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The boy said on the burning deck, taking Peter Penny a peck. Did he wash his dirty neck? No, did he? I'm not seeing that on camera. Let's see what I'm doing.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The boy said on the burning deck, taking Peter Penny a peck. Did he wash his dirty neck? No, did he?
And I wasn't putting the rest of it on camera. So that part works okay, but there's no lot else on the tape apart from the beginning. So if I go back towards the beginning, like that, turn that right down like that, and do the same again. Again, I'll knock the camera off because I'll knock that off because it's bit safer for me. And I know you care about me more than I care about myself, like, there you go. So that goes in there like that, and that stands up straight. Thank you very much. There we go. And we I'm going to record now 2 or 3 spins of complete silence here, like that. Okay. And it's not erased it, so I'm thinking that head. So we'll come back tomorrow with a new head. We'll put it on and we'll try it. Right, the new head is in place. And first of all, playback is okay, and record. Well, I put the new head in, like I said. I've also put an extra pressure pad on as well because that was missing. By the way, I did try the other head before I put the pressure pad in place, and it was the same. But now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So that proves, by the way, that it was that head, which is quite strange actually, because it read okay, but sometimes you never know until you change it. But it's something to always bear in mind, because sometimes a port it measures okay, but it doesn't actually work. So there's all saying in the trade that only test equipment realize when you're going to use it completely. So now it's simple case of putting the thing back together again and putting it back in its case. So I'll get on with that and see if I can get this one back together and working tonight, because it's as good as fixed after quite an interesting few faults actually. Well, very interesting few faults actually. So also with a circuit diagram. And as I said before on that point, if you've not got a circuit diagram, it does not mean you can't actually fix the unit, because in many cases you can. So bear that in mind. Well, here it is, nearly put together again. I say nearly because to get the thing out of its case and back in its case, you have to take the lid off the case. Really, this thing is put together rather differently than usual. So anyway, it's now working, as you can hear. So before, there you go, it's a working tape recorder again after all that time. And sorry about the phone, by the way. I'll just shut up now. So it's something else which we have to deal with. Like I say, it's working now. So now, of course, we've got to polish it and put the lid on, because the lid goes on the top here. On these, on most of these tape recorders, the lid actually comes off. On this, it doesn't. It doesn't. It hangs on the top here with the screws. So now we've got to put the lid back on and give it a polish. So yeah, seems to be working now. So I'll just put the lid back on and give it a final test. And here's the wee BC back together. It's an E.A.R tape recorder, electronic audio reproduction or something like that. This unit, going into writing underneath, it's called a Mascot. I don't know quite, Fred's got a manual for it, I don't know, but these are quite rare, like I said before. It's probably quite rare because it wasn't the easiest thing to do. Next time that I come across this model, if I come across this model, which is, I might, but it's held together slightly differently. First of all, the deck's the same, the BSR one, controls are on here, and they held in place actually by the 4 feet underneath. They actually unscrew those and the whole lot lifts out. To get into board, of course, you can do it 2 ways. One is, of course, it's to take that panel off there and the whole lot comes over, and then the board will come out. I've done it that way. But the deck does come away actually from the unit. Again, the units of the two pieces of metal used to hold it in place, they come off, and also there's some something attached to them actually which comes off as well, and the whole lot will come apart. It's different to normal, but so you know. Anyway, with this one, EC63 was Microphonic. Erase head was faulty. Well, not faulty, but the one I put in, I've left in because the one that I took out, it did need to be relapping. It was pretty bad. And it does record now. That was done. Heads have been cleaned, of course, everything else. Capacitors have been changed, of course. So it's now ready to go and carry on playing music for us for many, many years to come. And so let's do that. Yeah, that as well. Yeah, that's the knob itself. But I'm not taking this one apart again. No way. It was an interesting job, but it was not easy to do mechanically. But it came apart. The way it came apart was difficult to use and a bit difficult to get back as well. The lid had to come off, like I said, but it works again now, as you can hear. And so until next time, from Steve Longstair Vintage Radio Workshop, I'll see you soon, and well, keep stuff going, it's a way to live. Bye bye and take care.